Hello there everyone and welcome to TVS Nightline, here with me, Cheryl Shaminator. As always, thank you for joining us tonight. Now on to the headlines. Top headlining story today as Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Ahmad Douglas Uggah requests affected people, especially village committee, to avoid from opening on temporary transfer centre or PPS. Instead, the matter should be reported to the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee or SDMC officers who has more experience in managing the process.
Please don't do that. Jangan bentuk pusat pemindahan sementara sendiri, kerana kerja SDMC adalah mendirikan pusat pemindahan sementara adalah tanggungjawab SDMC. Dan dalam keadaan kita menghadapi COVID-19 ini, SOP dalam pusat pemindahan sementara itu adalah ketat.
Now, following the improving weather in Western Sarawak, the Malaysian Meteorological Department decided to change the red level weather warning to an alert yellow level weather warning. Its director, Ambon Dindang, said the red level weather warning has ended on Thursday. However, a yellow level or cautionary weather warning will still be maintained following the forecast of light rain until Friday.
Kita masih mengekalkan amaran tingkat waspada untuk bahagian barat Sarawak, itu Kuching, Serian, Semarahan, Seriaman, Betong, Serike, Sibu dan Mukah.
He added that bad weather is expected in Miri, Bintulu and Limbang.
Dan untuk bahagian lain seperti Bintulu, Miri dan Limbang, kita menjangkakan keadaan cuaca buruk tingkat waspada ini telah dikeluarkan dan dijangka sehingga 17 lah.
Commenting further, he said Met Malaysia will continue to monitor the weather throughout Sarawak and will provide information regarding drastic changes as soon as possible. Now, despite the good news and although the weather in Kuching on Friday looks promising, members of the public are reminded to always be vigilant. This is because the king tide phenomenon is forecast to persist until Sunday.
Through the monitoring of TVS crew of few locations around Kuching, the receding water level has brought some relief to the locals. Residents took the opportunity to clean the house and make some preparations should flooding occurs again. According to one of the flood victims, Sabtuya Majini, the flood this time is worse than the previous ones.
Pukul 4 kira lah. Ya, macam naik lah. Sampai dekat paras. No ya, pelak lah. Ya, laki mek ada. Macam di polahnya dak pangking ni lah nak nyimpan barang. Teknya siap datang tak. Segala tilap apa semua habis. Rosi pernah juga. Tok je teruk je. Nang teruknya dia tak tinggi.
Meanwhile, residents living around the riverbanks of Kuching have also been affected by the flood. A trader by the name Lim Siu Hong said he has made early preparations by storing his goods on an elevated platform. However, he did not expect the water to rise so drastically, coupled with the non-stop heavy rain.
Sebab ini panjang saya orang pun tidak ada diam sini, pun tidak dapat turun sini. Itu air sini, luar sini tinggi ya, dalam lagi tinggi ya. Sebab pun air tinggi kita pun tidak dapat datang sini. Tak boleh buat apalah, tunggu saja.
To avoid a repeat of history, several steps were taken to avoid any losses.
Kami orang kami simpan kotak dulu yang macam kami simpan kotak yang bersih, kira lah kami simpan atas dia. Jadi ada satu meja, kami orang naik angkat meja saja dulu, takut kena air macam ni.
Okay.
Oh, kami kalau banjir akan datang lagi, mungkin kami ambil sesuatu, mungkin bikin kayu ke apa, simpan barang ke tinggi sikit lah, apa simpan loteng ke apa macam, simpan atas naik lah, ini macam lah biar tidak kena air macam ni.
Meanwhile, the search and rescue operation, or SAR, for the missing man after falling into Sarawak River on Thursday has been widened to the radius of 16 kilometers. However, the victim is still yet to be found. Following is the report of our reporter on the ground, Khairul Zarif, who follows the SAR operation.
Hari ini adalah hari kedua mencari mangsa yang hilang di Sungai Sarawak, dan pencarian ini saya difahamkan dibuat di sekitar Sungai Sarawak sehingga ke Barraj, iaitu sepanjang 16 km. Dan tragedi ini berlaku semalam di mana kedua-dua mangsa terjatuh dari jambatan Satok. Dan baik, kita bersama dengan Ketua Balai Bomba Petrajaya bagi menjelaskan lebih lanjut bagi operasi pencarian tersebut, iaitu Tuan Azharul. Baik, Tuan, apa perkembangan operasi SAR pencarian ini?
Perkembangan semasa operasi SAR hari kedua ini melibatkan berbagai agensi, bomba, polis, live patrol dan APM, seramai aset seramai 8 buah bot, di mana pencarian radius lebih kurang ke hilir 16 km dan ke hulu lebih kurang 17 km. Di samping pada yang sama, kita juga membuat bantuan untuk PPS lah, banjir. Dan dalam masa tersebut, mangsa kali terakhir dipercayai menggunakan baju berwarna hitam, lelaki berusia 33 tahun. Dan kita masih giat membuat operasi di mana kita lebih tertumpu kepada di pesisir gigi air lah, dan memandangkan keadaan air agak deras waktu mangsa terjatuh. Dan alhamdulillah sekarang ini air agak moderate, maksudnya tidak begitu deras lah.
Baik, apakah cabaran semasa menjalani ops pencarian ini?
Cabarannya adalah musim ini kita juga terlibat dengan banjir juga. Kita terpaksa menggerakkan pasukan daripada yang bercuti untuk turut serta dalam operasi ini, dan juga dengan keadaan semasa kita dapat lihat air dengan sampah menyukarkan visual untuk kita melihat situasi mangsa. Kalau diikutkan dalam teorinya, mangsa dalam hari kedua adalah timbul lah, dan mungkin penuh timbul pada hari ketiga lah.
Bagaimana pula dengan mangsa yang terselamat? Bagaimanakah keadaan beliau sekarang?
Okey, untuk mangsa yang selamat, kita telah menghantar mangsa di hospital dan telah diselamatkan oleh pihak orang awam lah, di mana mangsa didapati penuh dengan air lah, dan terus dihantar ke hospital menggunakan MIS bomba lah.
So, apakah pesanan kepada orang awam ketika musim banjir ini, Tuan?
Okey, pesanan istimewa saya lah untuk warga yang terlibat mencari nafkah di air, utamakan penggunaan PPE lah. Sama ada anda mahir ataupun tidak mahir, gunakan PPE. Memandangkan keadaan sini air agak deras dan tidak menentu lah.
Baik, terima kasih Tuan Azharul. Okey, orang awam diingatkan untuk berjaga-jaga ketika musim banjir ini dan sentiasa menjaga keselamatan diri. Baik, itu sahaja laporan dari kami dari sini. Saya Karzari Afindi dan juru kamera Fikri Razak melaporkan untuk TVS.
Meanwhile, on Friday evening, the search and rescue operation team requested skippers to shift their barge vessels in search for the victim.
However, the effort is still deemed futile. At the same time, Petrajaya Fire Station Chief Azharul Sahari said the area of the search and rescue operation has been expanded to the mouth of the river on Saturday.
The tragedy of a man believed to have drowned at Kubaharia Jetty on Thursday has got the attention of the Sarawak Fire and Rescue Department Chairman Khairuddin Rahman. According to Khairuddin, members of the public are reminded to be vigilant, especially during the flood season.
Sila beri perhatian kepada anak-anak supaya tidak melanggar pertama kali SOP COVID-19 dan keduanya bermain air di tempat berlakunya banjir. Inilah sebab sekiranya kesilapan berlaku, kecelakaan boleh mengundang. Jadi dalam perkara ini pastikan 3L, lupa, lalai leka tidak ada pada kita dan keluarga kita supaya kita tidak menjadi mangsa kepada selain daripada COVID-19, banjir dan jadi malapetaka yang boleh menyebabkan kehilangan nyawa.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome back. Now, on to some COVID-19 updates as Malaysia recorded 3,211 positive COVID-19 cases on Friday. Meanwhile, 3,206 are local transmission and the rest of 5 are imported cases. This makes the cumulative total cases in the country to increase to 151,066 cases.
Meanwhile, 16 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported in Sarawak. 43 cases recorded in Cebu, 10 in Miri, 5 in Kuching and 2 in Kenawit. The latest case brings the total number of positive cases to 1,980 cases. Chairman of the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee, Dato' Amar Douglas Uggah Ambas, informed that there are 7 active clusters in Sarawak, namely Bukit Sekubong Cluster, Keranji Tabuan Cluster, Pasai Cluster, Bah Sayap Cluster, Stutong Cluster and Meradong Cluster.
Now, following the next update, as the Cebu Indoor Stadium, used as a screening centre, will be closed from January 16 in accordance to the Movement Control Order or MCO.
Cebu Disaster Management Committee said the move was to prevent the public from gathering at the place for screening. However, Lanang Health Clinic or Cebu Jaya Health Clinic is open for screening, with operating hours starting from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. from Monday to Friday. On Saturday, operating hours will be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and close on Sunday. Cebu Division will be placed under the Movement Control Order for 2 weeks starting this Saturday on January 16 until January 29, 2021. The MCO covers the district of Cebu, Kenawit and Selangau.
Meanwhile, Sarawak has acquired another batch of 61,200 pieces of personal protective equipment, or commonly known as PPE, imported directly from China. Now, according to the local government and housing minister, Datuk Sri Dr. Sim Kui Hian, immediate priority and delivery of the PPEs would be to Cebu and Miri frontliners.
On his official Facebook page on Thursday, the Sarawak government prioritized frontliners combating the coronavirus. He added the leadership of the state government always prioritized in channeling the much-needed assistance to the State Health Department in providing adequate facilities and health services to preserve the lives of Sarawakian citizens first.
A good news, as according to Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Adam Baba, registration for the COVID-19 vaccine for Malaysians will be opened soon. Following this, Malaysians will receive 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine for full protection against the virus.
Orang-orang yang menerima vaksin ini, dia perlu menyimpan kad yang kita berikan kali pertama disuntik dengan dos pertama tadi, untuk memastikan mereka dapat dos kedua diberikan pada tarikh yang ditetapkan. Apa yang saya beritahu tadi, untuk vaksin yang kita nak suntik pertama lagi, kita ada julat selama 21 hari.
However, he did not say when the date for the registration would be open. He said even after getting vaccinated, people are still required to practice the new norms. Dr. Adams said the main objective of the COVID-19 immunization is to protect frontliners, reduce the fatality rate, form group immunity, and further break the chain of coronavirus infection. Malaysia is scheduled to receive the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine at the end of next month and has received conditional approval from the Health Ministry's National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency.
Now, no religious activities will be carried out in suraus and mosques throughout the Movement Control Order or MCO period in Cebu District starting January 16, 2021. The move was initiated by the Sarawak Islamic Council, MIS, through an official statement on Friday.
The Sarawak Islamic Council informed after Cebu is currently undergoing the MCO that was implemented on Saturday. According to the statement, the council said activities such as talks, lectures, classes and others should be postponed during this period. The statement stated that Friday prayers and 5-time prayers can be held with a maximum of 12 people. The people, which consists of the mosque or surau management committee. The directive is effective from January 16 until the MCO is lifted.
Following the next news, as Sarawak's Ministry of Transport has reduced all airline activity following the surge of the COVID-19 cases, especially in Kuching, Miri and Cebu. Meanwhile, the public is reminded to purchase flight tickets based on the latest flight schedule approved by Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee or SDMC.
At the same time, its Minister Datuk Lee Kim Shin has reminded airlines companies to only offer flight tickets based on the latest flight schedule approved by SDMC. Datuk Lee Kim Shin said this was important to provide reliable air connectivity or flight services to the public in the state. The new flight schedule shall take effect on Friday, January 15, 2021. The public can also refer to the latest flight schedule on their official transportation website at mot.sarawak.gov.my. In addition, the information on the schedule approved by SDMC has also been distributed to the public through social media. Lee explained that the schedule aims to facilitate others to plan their travel accordingly amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
The flood situation have shown signs of improvement in several locations in the southern region of Sarawak. However, authorities are geared up to face the possibility of a second wave of floods following the uncertainties of the weather coupled with the king tide phenomenon. A flood watch was conducted by TVS crew in Bau, showing that 70% of the villages in the district have been affected by the flood, even at non-flood prone areas. From the crew's observations, together with the Bau firefighters, led by Senior Officer Abu Rahim Poji, the flood water trend have receded as the weather is improving for the meantime. However, all necessary preparations such as logistic and other assets are ready to be mobilized in case of another round of floods hitting the state. Village chiefs have also taken proactive measures to monitor closely the flood situations in their respective areas.
Buat masa ni memang air itu dah surut, tetapi kita taklah berapa senang sangat. Kita sentiasa bersiap sedia untuk melakukan takut banjir kedua yang akan menimpa kita.
Bau Fire Station Chief Tawang Lingam, when met, said that the department is now on standby to aid any flood victims. Having said that, if the weather improves and the water subsides, cleaning and sanitization works will be carried out immediately.
Dalam 70% kampung di kawasan Bau memang affected dan ada setengah kampung juga belum pernah banjir. So yang ni unusual case lah bagi banjir pada tahun ni.
Meanwhile, Sarawak Civil Defence Force Director Mokhtar Samad said the agency has deployed 300 of its personnel to aid the flood situation at various affected areas.
Anggota kita deploy pada Kuching. Kuching kita dah keluarkan hampir 300 anggota untuk kita keluarkan untuk membuat bantuan selain kerja-kerja di pusat pemindahan, kerja-kerja pemindahan mangsa daripada rumah kepada pusat pemindahan.
As of 5 p.m. press time, 4,413 victims from 1,171 families are currently seeking shelter at 49 temporarily flood centres in the 4 affected districts in Sarawak.
We are now reporting from Kampung Buso Bau, which is one of the badly affected areas, following the recent heavy downpour. According to authorities, the water level has risen up to 4 meters recently, and it's now, as we can witness, that the water have receded to 2 meters. 26 families comprising 128 victims, are now seeking shelter at the temporary flood relief center at Darul Ehsan Mosque. I'm Daryl, and my cameraman, Awang Asmil, TVS, Bau.
And that wraps up the flood situation update for today. Meanwhile, following the next news, as Kuching Water Board or KWB has assured that the discharge of water from Bengor Dam will not affect the nearby villages downstream, namely Kampung Bengor, Kampung Danu, Kampung Semadang, Kampung Giam and Kampung Geta. As such, KWB has also reduced the discharge from the valves of the dam at its lowest rate as the dam is full and there is no room for it to retain the precipitation to prevent flooding downstream. Meanwhile, Daryl Law has the report.
We are reporting from Bengor Dam. Continuous rain over the catchment area of Sungai Sarawak Kiri recently had caused the water level to reach its maximum at 80 meters. And is overflowing through the spillway. Kuching Water Board had reduced the water discharge from the valve from the dam to the lowest rate of 95 million litres per day. At the same time, all gates at the wire near Batu Kitang are fully open to facilitate the discharge of the river water. The board assured that the discharge of the water from the dam will not cause flood at the nearby village downstream. I'm Daryl Law, and my cameraman, Awang Asmil, TVS, Bengor.
KWB General Manager Rodzia Mohamad said that the design of the dam measures at 85.2 meters and that the current water level is at 80.8, a lower reading as compared to its previous day that measured at 80.77. Despite the water level having reached its maximum capacity, the matter isn't alarming. As such, all the precipitation in Bengor catchment area will be wholly translated as overflow through spillway of the dam. At the same time, all the gates to the weir near Batu Kitang are fully open to facilitate the discharge of river water. With no one to rely on and staying strong for the children. Those were the words uttered by Manisa Musa, aged 34, who was made widow following the vicious croc attack that claimed her husband's life. Her late husband was reportedly attacked by crocodile after he went out fishing with his father at Maranit River around 3 a.m. The search and rescue operation ensues. However, the operation ended on Thursday at 1:45 p.m. after parts of the deceased body was recovered. According to Manisa, she describes her husband as a very friendly person, known by the villagers. She remembers him bringing in the catch each time. However, she accepts with her loss and decided to stay strong for her children, despite having no one to rely on. Even sadder was when their children inquired of the father's absence, to which she would answer in solemn that he was a victim of a croc attack. Despite with the recent tragedy, the victim's father, Azhar Razali, will still base his income from the river to provide to his family.
Kata kami terpaksa nunggu tu lah apa nama pemuruan buaya tu lah. Sebenarnya pemuruannya menyelidiki kita ada sampai 70% ke 80% lah kena katanya yang besar ada yang mungkin turun ke sungai balik tu.
Meanwhile, Hafiz Hamran and Zakaria Hamadian opined the same.
Okey, oleh kerana masa tu kita dah ada 2 kes dari bulan 12 setik ada 1 kes dan lepas dia bulan 1 setik ada lagi 1 kes. Jadi ada 2 kes lah. Oleh kerana macam ya kita nunggu dari operasi untuk sidak SFC sama dengan sidak Semarahan Koridor Hunter dulu lah. Sidaknya akan mula apa nama tu? Sidaknya akan mula sidakan di sungai itu sama ada untuk nangkap sidaknya ke atas ini. Jadi macam kami orang yang kerap selalu turun tu, kami tunggu dalam keadaan gedar dulu lah. Mungkin dalam masa sebulan, 2 bulan macam ni lah. Kita nanggap keadaan juga dulu lah. Macam ni keadaannya. Sebab majoriti penduduk kampung tu sidaknya masih bergantung harap dengan hasil hasil sungai. Cik Bani lah dulu lah. Bawa macam tu pergi ke sungai sebab kes dah makin meningkat cakap tu. Lagipun dia pun benda yang mengganas. Sebab masa tu macam dulu pergi senang orang cari main nyala udang ke apa ada bahaya. Tapi masa tu dah makin mengganas, kami orang rasa ada takut juga lah.
Following this, members of the public have been urged to contact the Sarawak Forestry Corporation or SFC immediately if they spot a crocodile near their areas. This is following the uploading of a video that went viral on social media even before the relevant authorities have been notified.
SFC Chief Executive Officer Zulkifli Muhammad Aton said the video has brought up concerns over the threat of crocodiles to the local communities. When several districts in the state were hit by floods due to incessant heavy rain, he said there was a possibility of crocodiles appearing in villages in search of food as well as to avoid strong currents in the river. Meanwhile, regarding the latest case of a viral video clip, Zulkifli stressed that it was an old video that was shared by an irresponsible individual.
Dan sebelumnya pun ada juga mengatakan viral di Lutung. So, cek kami orang habis cek. Padu ya cerita lama aja, saya pun tahu sini sebenarnya benda ya. So saya ingin menyatakan di sinilah, seandainya sudah netizen kita, ya kalau adanya sebenarnya ada report boyak tu, kalau boleh letaklah lokaliti dan bila.
The SFC team were dispatched to the said location, but no crocodiles were sighted. The public can contact an SFC wildlife officer at 019-885-9996 for Kuching District and 019-888-3561 for Sibu District and 019-833-2737 for Bintulu District.
An elderly woman has narrowly escaped serious injury during a crocodile attack that takes place in Kampong Baru Debak on Thursday. Another incident occurred at around 9 p.m. as a 63-year-old woman is reported to have been collecting and packing floating goods under his house inundated by the flood.
During the incident, the victim is believed to climb up a stair and suddenly the vicious reptile bit her at her thigh. The victim, in shock, tried to escape the grip. Her nephew, who heard the commotion, went out to help the victim. She suffered deep laceration to her upper thigh and suffered no life-threatening injuries. The victim was later treated at Debak Health Clinic, and injuries involved during the incident included 19 stitches on her upper thigh.
And that concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. And here at TVS, we urge locals to remain calm despite the entire situation. Here with me, Cheryl Shaminator, and I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.